The federal government says the census website was not attacked or hacked and no data was lost. It appears to make a mockery of the Australian Bureau of Statistics' claim that the census fail was the result of a series of distributed denial of service attacks launched in a deliberate bid to sabotage the collection of data. Head statistician David Kalish claimed this morning the ABS shut down the site as a precaution after the fourth strike. It was an attack, and we believe from overseas, he told ABS News Radio. Small Business Minister Michael McCormack then muddied the waters by stating this at an overdue press conference. This was not an attack, nor was it a hack. It was an attempt to frustrate the collection of data. People should feel rest assured their data is safe. However, a tool devised by Google Ideas and cybersecurity company Abor Networks to track these attacks around the world, the digital attack map, failed to detect any unusual activity in Australia at the time the alleged attacks took place. If accurate, it gives credence to accusations widely circulating on social media and beyond that mysterious overseas hacker story is a cover for the real culprit, incompetence. But is it possible those responsible hid evidence of their activity via geo-blocking, server location spoofing or other means? We apologize for the inconvenience. The 2016 online census form was subject to 4 denial of service attacks of varying nature severity. Overseas hackers and denial of service attackers of ABS. Sniff sniff. I smell bullshit sharp Censify. Mom, nothing unusual these wise for Australia and yesterday sharp census pic. Twitter.com/xrockgz. At ellipsi at abcensus at abstats it but something isn't adding up //t co/is enu. Yes, according to hacking specialist Philip Dawson, who is Associate Director at Deakin University's Center for Research in Assessment and Digital Learning, Cradle. If you want to carry out a DOS attack you buy what's called a botnet, which is a network of compromised devices that have been hacked into. It could be a network of computers or a network of interconnected fridges, Associate Professor Dawson told News.com. If you want to make the attack look like it comes from Australia, you buy a botnet in Australia, so it's really hard for us to know where this attack came from. It could be the attack wouldn't show up on the digital attack map, but their data is usually really good. Spoofing could also explain why it wouldn't show up, but you would hope they could detect that. For $50 you could get yourself a pretty good botnet online, maybe find it on the dark web, but surely the degree of these is something we should be able to deal with or laugh off. If it is something quite small it could be a cover story for incompetence. As Prof. Dawson said, the only way the public would know the truth is if investigators released the forensic log. I don't have much hope of that happening, though, he said. Whatever the hell happened, the mysterious Australian Signals Directorate is investigating the source the disruption. Trust the NEP, their plan for jobs, growth and retention /matching of intimate data sharp census pic. Twitter.com/cthubmock. At Trevor Long. Apart from the dodgy router, ABS now claims their geo-blocking failed too, allowing later attacker. What if, and stay with me here, what if there was no Ds and it's just that AtabCensus are incompetent? Sharp Censify. AtabCensus Ds attack. Bahaha. What an absolute crock. Talk about passing the buck. Sharp Censify. Cybersecurity expert Greg Austin said the public should take the government claims of these attacks at face value until we know more. The incident reminds us of the serious threat we face in cyberspace, he told News.com. The second point is that we need some sort of public exposure of the results of the investigation to restore public trust in the ABS. Thirdly, cybersecurity is not cheap or easy, and there's room to question whether the government is spending enough on it. I would take the government explanation at face value until we know more. The Australian Signals Directorate is one of the top 10 organizations of its kind. If they can do it, nobody can. Mark Gregory from Remit University this morning said more proof was needed over the government's claim that an overseas attack had taken place. A denial of service attack is when they get millions of computers trying to access their systems at the same time, he told ABS Breakfast. You are overwhelming their computing power by doing that. Interestingly enough, the system, as we have learned, was built to handle about 1 million transactions in an hour. 1 million people doing their return in an hour. Now, my understanding is that most Australians have dinner, sit down, try and do the census. If you had 5 or 6 million households trying to do their census at the same time, that's similar to a denial of service attack. We need some proof this was from outside Australia and not just simply Australians trying to do the census. Gregory, from the School of Engineering, also maintained the government systems were simply not designed to handle the amount of traffic we saw last night. He said if there was an attack, it was now up to the government to prove that was indeed the case. Now they have got the Defense Signals Directorate involved. They don't publish anything they do. We are taking their word at face value. This did come from overseas. They would need to provide hard facts. Nevertheless, we know now as a fact their systems were not designed to handle the type of traffic that I would have expected after dinner last night. He maintained the ABS was totally unprepared from the beginning and he wanted to see some hard facts to prove it was a cyber attack and not government incompetence. I think the ABS have been totally unprepared, he said. They shouldn't have tried to do the whole country. They should have done a pilot in one state and the rest of the states. Some of the statements are outrageous. I have no confidence in what they are saying. Gregory also raised the question as to whether people's data was really safe and that any information they supplied would be tainted. What they have done at this stage is they have set themselves up for failure in a spectacular way, he said. The failure has occurred as predicted by many people and at this point in time, the whole census has been a mess. The only thing that they can really do is try and do it again next year, for example, because the data now is tainted. He also said he believed many people will not complete the census because they think they have completed it but because of the denial of service attack. The information won't have been registered on their computers. Gregory said heads should now roll over the incident. I believe the management has gone too far in the statements they have made publicly, he said. They have been warned by a number of people this was going to happen. It did happen. There needs to be a serious look at the operation of the ABS. Gregory said until Australia has mandatory data breaching laws in this country, we should not believe anything the government says about privacy and security. Our systems are being attacked and hacked into all the time, he said. There are no laws in this country currently which require government or industry to actually make public that they have been hacked into and the information has been taken. So therefore it would be reasonable not to believe what people are saying.